Hello everyone. Thanks for joining me today. This is Carol from Practical Mystic. I also want to thank all my new subscribers. I really do appreciate that, and I want you to know that I hope and have every intention of continuing the content and the information that has brought you to me. I want to tell everyone that is a subscriber, please always feel that you can comment or email me with any suggestions to bring you information or to do videos that are of interest to you. And if I can fulfill that, and if I have the knowledge to do those types of videos, I certainly will do those requests. So what you are looking at on your screen right now is part 3 of Tarot Journal, where we look at specific questions for self-awareness. It is the worksheet. I have it under Tarot Journal Worksheet. This will be called number 3. And our question today is, what am I in denial of? It's probably going to be like 7 cards there that come out for me. But that is our question. We continue to evaluate that question, dig a little deeper by saying, how can I move out of denial? And then our last question on this 3-card draw is, how did being in denial affect me? And what has just been revealed? We can look at that in 2 different ways. Of course, I am going to be using the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. It is, as I said, a 3-card draw. I like to date it, and I'm going to use the past, present, and future positions of the cards to help me answer these questions. So right now I am going to get centered and grounded as I shuffle my cards. I'll be right with you. Okay, that feels good. Now what I'd like to do, and if you've watched these videos before, I always like to cut my deck 3 times to the left. They symbolize the 3 aspects of the 3-card draw, namely past, present, and future, and I take 1 card off the top of each of the piles. So the question again is, what am I in denial of? And our first card is the 4 of Wands. The second card is Death. And our third card is the 5 of Pentacles. We're going to put our pile back, put it on the left-hand side, and let's look at these cards today and see how we can answer that question. All right, I'm going to tap this to make sure you're able to see it on the screen. Our question, what am I in denial of? Well, if I'm looking at the 4, but I think what I want to do is what my first impression was to do as I viewed these cards. Let me do it in a teaching way. If you were taking a tarot class from me and we were looking at these cards and trying to evaluate how they are interpreted by their numbers, by their colors, by their position, let's do that. You might find that interesting. All right, the first thing that I teach my students is be aware of the images and where they are facing. Well, the 4 of Wands is very easy. It is 2 women facing me forward. There is direct eye contact. The Death card, of course, is the image of the, let's say, skeleton, armored skeleton, is heading in the direction of the right, almost pushing the 2 figures on the 5 of Pentacles cards, helping them along, and that is very instrumental in how I would interpret that particular scene. The other thing that I teach my students is to look at the colors and do they blend. Certainly we have yellow, which is reflection, evaluation, the intellect. We have like a grayish blue, and blue usually indicates the unknown, the unconscious, but the grayish blue indicates the coloring of, I'm going to say, deception, a gray area, disillusionment. And then on the Five of Pentacles, we have a building background because, of course, this is our stained glass window. And it is like a, I'm going to say an orangey, a dark orange and black. So again, here we have a feeling of bondage, not seeing clearly, despondency, nothing bright other than the beautiful Five Pentacles shining through from that stained glass window, which is in back, moving forward into that area we just described here, the gloominess or the darkness of this area. The other thing then is we look at numbers. Well, we have a number 4. We also have a number 13, which adds up to a 4. And then we have a number 5. Immediately, I would say, by interpreting the number 4, that we've come to some type of stability. The 4 has a foundation now. The 4 is established before it goes on to the next level, which these cards do depict, which is the 5. So from this stability, or this, let's say, what has been manifested, what is, goes into the 5, which now becomes changed, conflicted, variable, changeable, no longer stable. And that is also a way of looking how we've come from the position of the past and present. And if we seem to continue this way, we'll manifest into the future. So with that information now, let's go ahead and answer what am I in denial of? Well, if I look at that 4 of Wands, it may mean that I have not given credit for what I have established, what I have accomplished in my life, and I am not celebrating. So do I deny myself in any way affirmation of my successes? Do I have a problem with that? If we look to the present to help us understand that, color this card, give it more information as to what the resistance is here. The Death card may say that there's a underlining denial of maybe my fear of change, because Death card certainly talks about change, or my fear of getting recognition, because underneath that, again, I'm going now to the next card, I might have this inferiority complex that I don't deserve it, that even though people may have expressed and I may have gotten recognition, because certainly the Pentacles indicate that I have built something tangible from my successes, that I don't really relish in it, or for some reason I don't accept that. So that is how I want to answer, what am I in denial of? How can I move out of this denial? Well, that's the present. I need to accept change. I need to let go of this fear. I need to allow myself to transform, to maybe get rid of that thin skin, become a little bit more tougher and move on. The next question, the last question, is how did being in denial affect me? What has just been revealed? Well, my wheels are turning 240 here right now, because how it's denied me is I may have taken away the enjoyment of those other people in my life. I may have dampened my spirit to the point where people really may not want to be around me. And then lastly, with the Five of Pentacles, I have to be careful that I don't have this feeling of victimization, of poor me, I don't deserve, because there's always a payoff by having that type of mentality. So if I don't want this limitedness, and go and look beyond it, where the Five of Pentacles says there is so much, they are evenly placed in this church setting, that I have bypassed a great amount of joy, a great amount of maybe even spending some of the successes that I had in a tangible way. Maybe I need to open up my closet and say, it's time for some new clothes here. This has had it here. Doesn't fit me anymore. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you gained some knowledge about how I interpret the cards, how I see the cards. And again, I thank you for joining